Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells and welcome back to another supersized eBay sales. These are items that sold for $100 or more. They were posted on my Facebook group. Every Monday we have a thread where sellers can post what they found, where they found it, how much they paid for it, and then show us the completed listing. This is a great way to learn what to sell, what kind of big scores to look for when you're out there treasure hunting, because you can see the actual sold listing and how much a buyer paid for very specific items. So let's get going on this. We've got some vintage ephemera here. Lisa Marie paid $50 for this item and it sold in about 12 hours. It is a vintage 1948 Coca-Cola cardboard sign that sold for $575. So that is an amazing investment. $50 turned it into $575 and happened in 12 hours. And she doesn't say where she got it. So if you want to comment below, maybe she will answer that question. But I'm assuming either an estate sale or a live auction. Okay, Joyce found this Disney Aristocats Duchess plush cat, so it's a plush stuffed animal. Found it at Goodwill for $1.91. It sold for $300, well, $299. She says, imagine my surprise and delight when looking up comps to see this particular Duchess sells for so much. Only listed for 3 days. Sold for full price. So take a look at that. It is a white cat with pink ears and a gold collar, 15 inches tall, so it's not a gigantic jumbo plush like some of the other ones we will and have seen. $1.91 and it sold for $300 in 3 days. So this is what gets us going with eBay and keeps us motivated and gets us into those thrift stores and garage sales and estate sales, is you just never know when something like this is going to show up in front of you. Elizabeth, this was her late cousin's ham radio equipment and took to auction, started the bidding at $300. It was free, so it went for $512. It's a Kenwood transceiver ham radio equipment. Free to her. She put it on eBay and went for $512. It took a week to sell. D paid $25 at Goodwill for this World of Motion red steam engine locomotive teapot. That is very unusual. I would have picked that up just because it's very different, unusual. She paid $25. It sold in 4 months for $199 plus shipping. That is a cool find. Vanessa, she sold this animations Duck Dodgers. It's basically, it looks like a print, an art print, for $100. She paid $14 for this and sold in a month. So look at the funky art when you are out there treasure hunting, because you just never know. Brad paid $0. He found it in a flip house. So I guess he buys houses and flips them. 1966 Lost in Space model kit. It went for $235.09 plus shipping. This was an auction. And Inger commented, I always find stuff in houses I fix up too. Nothing this nice though. So very cool item, free, sold for $235. And this is where the skill of selling on eBay comes in handy, because it's just one of those skills that you can always use once you know how to do this. No matter where you are in the world, if you find things that can be sold and you have access to internet and a computer and a way to ship things, you can make money. So this is proof of that. Diane had in the basement in storage, so it was free to her. Sold for $180 plus shipping to a return customer, so repeat buyer there. It is a lot of 772 skeins of thread, so either cross stitch thread, embroidery thread, something like that. She had this in her house and she got it on eBay and made 180 bucks. Okay, Eileen got this cookie mold at an estate sale on Saturday for $1. Listed it last night, sold in 4 hours for full asking price of $149 plus shipping. This one is very rare. Yes, the brown bag cookie molds are highly collectible. There are some that were limited edition or only a few made. So that's what this is, brown bag cookie mold. If you don't know what that is, you would make the cookie dough and then you press it into the mold and then you turn it over and dump it out, and the cookie has the impression of the design on it. So $1 and sold it for $149. Okay, Casey Vetterly, $10 at a thrift store, sold for $135 in about 2 months. These are vintage Olathe full quill ostrich skin western cowboy boots. $10 sold for $135 basically. And this is what you would call exotic skins because it's got the ostrich quill design on the foot part there. So any of these boots that you see that are lizard or snake skin or ostrich or any of those exotics are going to be worth more than regular leather, and they're just easy to spot when you're looking at all the shoes right there together, all the shoes and boots. You can see that this has a very different texture on it. I love to find things or learn about things that are easy to spot in the sea of all that thrift store stuff, because to the untrained eye it all looks the same. So you have to start learning about what things are different or unusual, and that helps you source faster. Okay, Charles Green paid $25 on Facebook Marketplace, sold on a 10-day auction for $153. This is a vintage 1979 Fisher Price Kermit the Frog beanbag doll. And I love Kermit the Frog. That is one I look for when I take the time to look through the plush. I'm not into plush as much as some of you others are, because it's usually such a huge mess and it's so unorganized and it just takes so long to go through it all at the thrift stores I go to, because the kids get in that aisle and they're messing it up and it's completely unorganized. So, but this one is, or any Kermit the Frog that's actually vintage is a good find, and it's green, so it kind of pops in comparison to all the brown teddy bears, or when you look at that shelf or bin of plush stuff, a lot of it's brown. It's brown dogs and cats and teddy bears. So looking for the colors will help you find some of these higher dollar items a little faster. So great flip on that one, Charles. Okay, Darlene, Department 56 Mickey Mouse Watch Factory clock. Paid $5, declined a couple of low offers, sold for $145 after about 3 weeks. So this is definitely a collectible item. Department 56 Disney Watch Factory. All right, we've got Brian here. Bought a week ago at a garage sale for 50 cents, listed on a 7-day auction. This is Millie the Model Atlas Golden Age comic book, $130.50. That is a niche that requires some knowledge. People that are into that, it's like stamps and coins and those types of things where you're really into it. Record albums. So I don't know if Brian is knowledgeable in that niche or if he just got lucky on this and don't know the backstory there. But I do see people that sell comic book collections, and they may have thousands of them in there. And that looks very overwhelming to me because I don't know anything about them. But if you specialize, you know what to look for. Okay, Tina paid $2. Oh, I'm sorry, paid $22.50 at a Goodwill boutique, accepted best offer of $125 after 2 months. These are Maui Jim sunglasses, polarized sunglasses with case. So $22.50 and sold for $169. That is an amazing sale, and how easy to ship. And I'm guessing they came with a hard case, so that was probably pretty easy sale. Danielle sold this today, full asking price of $124.77 plus shipping. Took a few months to sell, found at the Goodwill bins, paid $1.59. This is a vintage Disney baby Mickey Mouse comforter, so it's a baby blanket. And the value comes in the fact that it is vintage. So $1.50, and she turned that into $125 in just a few months. Summer, 10 cents each at Salvation Army, sold for best offer of $100 plus shipping after a few months. Berenstain Bears series books, lot of 47 paperbacks, sold for $100. So 47 and 10 cents a piece, so $4.70. She turned it into $100. And I do have a bunch of these because my kids just loved them. And I just remember reading these books to my kids over and over and over, as you do with little kids. And I'm just not going to get rid of them. I'm going to just hang on to those because I think it would be neat when and if they ever have kids to be able to say, this was your mommy or daddy's book. And I've moved a lot in the past few years and downsized a lot of things, but this is one of those sentimental items I am just not going to get rid of. So anyway, the backstory on I love these books, but so this is a cool flip. 47 paperback books, and they're not that thick, so it probably wasn't a huge box. So that was a cool sale. Okay, Gail purchased for $10 at a garage sale last week, sold next day for $310 plus shipping. So not only are a lot of these sales very high dollar, but they were a fast flip. So I love that. This is a Salad Master electric skillet fry pan, stainless steel. Looks like it's in great condition too. $10, flipped it for $310 in one day. I love those. Okay, Connie bought this at a local rummage sale for $10, sold in 4 days for $130 plus shipping. It is a vintage 1974 Coleman camping lantern. Very cool looking. It's red. So that is a great find right there. Probably pretty easy to ship too. I'm guessing that there was no oil, nothing flammable in it. It was just the lantern itself, so not an issue to ship that. Mallory, free to me, took about 2 weeks. Comps show between $275 and $475 when I listed it, and when I was contacted by my buyer, there were a bunch of listings up for anywhere from $35 to $85. After several hours of back and forth, he asked me to give a price, and I gave my mid-range, hope to get price, and he accepted my offer as he knows what these are worth and was more than willing and happy to pay for it. Sold for best offer of $175 plus shipping. My second sale over $100. So congratulations on that, Mallory. And what did she say she paid for it? Oh, it was free. Free to her, and she sold it for $175. This is a vintage 1960, the visible V8 transparent operating auto engine assembly kit. So it looks like a science thing where you put something together to, give you the bottom line on that. Okay, Amy paid $4 at a yard sale, sold in 10 days for full asking price of $150 plus shipping. This is a vintage Garfield cat animated wall clock with moving eyes and tail. Those were very cool. I remember those. Any of those clocks that are vintage and have the tail of the animal moving are good sellers. I have never found one, but I do look for those. So this was $4, sold for 150 in 10 days. Markham. Couldn't believe I found this at a yard sale for $1. It was the only item of its kind at the yard sale. I had a hard time trying to figure out what to list for since there was nothing comparable. Finally settled on 149.56 plus shipping. I don't know if it was just right or too low because it sold within an hour for full asking price. So this is a vintage Ferrari slot car, a little miniature, not like a Matchbox car. I think it's a little bit bigger than that. It's a slot car. So $1, and he sold it for $149.56 in an hour. So that was a great pick. Lewis, one of my best scores ever, picked this figure up for $4 at a garage sale, sold on a 7-day auction. It's a Star Wars Jar Jar Binks collectible thing, and that just takes me back to the 80s. Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. 7-day auction, $4, and it sold for $293.01. So that was a great flip. Okay, Nancy. And she bought this bear. Let's see. Everything's $1 sale. Okay, so he was $1. Had him listed for about 8 months. Sold for full price of $109.99 plus $58 shipping. Glad to see him go because he took up a lot of room, but better yet, he got a good home. This is a Gund Collector's Classic Teddy Bear, vintage 1983, 39-inch, so it's a bigger one. As you can see, he's taken up that whole chair. And it was $1, and she sold it for $110. So what a cool flip. Tara, purchased for $15, sold for $100 within a few hours to an international buyer who paid $45 for shipping. My first $100 sale. Congratulations, Tara. This is a Elvis clock. So he sold for $100, purchased for $15. So what a cool flip that is. Lots of clocks popping up on this one. This is one of my late cousins. Okay, so it's Elizabeth with some more ham radio stuff. And this is some kind of, it says it's a rotator, so it's some kind of electronics thing for a ham radio. So it was free to her. She sold it for $100, and it took a week to sell. We've got Casey again, paid a couple of dollars from my recycling center. This brand always sells quickly for great money in the routers category. I usually never even look at most routers in the thrift stores, sold in one day. The brand is Eero, E-E-R-O, and it is a second generation router, sold for $119.95, and he only paid a couple of dollars for it. Okay, we've got Elizabeth Jackson here with a Wile E. Coyote, free at a garage sale, sold him for $100 plus shipping. Took 10 days. Knew to pick him up because I do research on solds per category, and although I didn't know this was a Looney Tunes character, I knew the size was likely to fetch a good price. So he is 4 feet tall. The Wile E. Coyote, free and sold for $100. Okay, Casey again, unbelievable. Paid less than $1 and just set my all-time remote control sale record at $300. Sold in less than 24 hours. Okay, this is a remote control. Paid less than $1 and sold for $300. And I wonder what is so special about this one. Brian, who also sells a lot of electronics, says that 400 disc Blu-ray goes for $600 plus. So whatever this goes with is an expensive electronic, which makes the remote expensive, I'm guessing. But who knew remote controls could sell for that much? I knew they were good sellers, but $300, that's just crazy. Cecilia paid 9 cents for this item, only listed a couple of days, sold for $135. This is a Dimensions Gold Collection porcelain doll. It's a looks like a cross stitch kit or a doll making kit. So basically a kit in a package. 9 cents. She said it was 9 cents because she went to an estate sale and purchased 100 cross stitch kits for $9. So she's going to be making some money on those. We're going to see more from Cecilia with her cross stitch stuff. All right, Jennifer paid $2.99 at Goodwill, sold for $190 plus $199 plus free shipping. I've had it listed since April, and this was a hobby model kit, Japanese anime. So $2.99 and sold for $200. Stephanie purchased these at the bins for about $3, sold for best offer of $100 plus shipping in 4 days. These are some prosthetic socks. So very specialized medical item. And I bet those were super easy to ship. So as Lori says, yeah, you never really know what will show up in the bins, and you're exactly right. Who knew that this type of thing could sell for so much? But they're very specialized. So $3 sold for $100. Okay, Janae, Grecian Plus men's hair color foam. Paid $3. It's sold for $115 in 1 day. And those of you that remember all those Grecian formula commercials, that's what popped into my head when I saw this. There was one with Pete Rose talking about the Grecian formula, the men's hair stuff that gradually gets rid of the gray over time. Everything with me goes back to a commercial. But anyway, cool find there, and who knew that somebody would pay so much for that. Okay, Melinda, found at the Goodwill bins, paid 23 cents. Not even sure what they are. It's some kind of electronics thing, jack module for wiring. Okay, I wouldn't have known what that was either, but she paid 23 cents for it and it sold for $132. So who knew? You just never know what you're going to find. KC, $10 at a garage sale, sold for $100. Sadly, the end of my Monster Energy pile. This is a rare skateboard deck with the Monster Energy logo on it. So it's like a little miniature skateboard thing. People would collect these little skateboard decks, I'm thinking. Or is it a full-size skateboard? I can't tell from the listing, but either way, he made $100 on it. That looks like it's full size when I take a minute to look at it here. Anyway, it's the end of his Monster Energy pile. You'll remember that he's been selling the empty cans of Monster Energy that are collectible. So he'll find something else cool to put up on Money Making Mondays, because he always does. Okay, Savannah sold just a few minutes ago, free to me from my boss, an antique Tressman and Voigt dresser vanity set made sometime between 1892 and 1907. Took a month to sell. I had it listed for $200 and I sent out several offers to watchers but had no bites. I tweaked the wording of the title and received an offer of $150 within a few hours. So this is a vanity set with all the different pieces, and it was free, and she sold it for $150. And just look how beautiful it is with the blue and the flowers and the gold accents. Really pretty. Lizzie sold last night for full asking price, bought at an estate sale for 75 cents. Sale had a whole room of ephemera that I dug around in for a while. Took 4 months to sell. This is a Walt Disney Studios Christmas card booklet, and she sold it for $400. Bought it for 75 cents and sold it for $400. So yes, you can make a lot of money on eBay, but I'm sure if we ask Lizzie, this was a rare thing. This is, this is what you strive for, but a consistent eBay business of good bread and butter sales every day is what's going to get you there. And then you come across these huge finds that keep you excited about the business because you just never know. Okay, Markham again. Bought at a yard sale, moving sale where the magic price seemed to be $5. Paid $5 for this factory sealed box. I had to turn down half a dozen offers before receiving my full asking price of $319.56 plus shipping. So this is a factory sealed Sony stereo dual cassette tape recorder component. So even though we are in the year 2019, people are still buying cassette players. So you never know what's going to come out at these estate sales and garage sales that has been sitting in these homes for decades. Okay, Melanie paid $5, took a best offer of $85 plus shipping. This is a Fitz and Floyd Halloween haunted tree candle holder, and this sold in August. So I wanted to make that note because anything can sell at any time of year. eBay knows no seasons if you have it listed. Now we've got Chris. I wanted to share this. I never would have believed this before it happened. I noticed how high quality this was and I bought it blind for $7. I had to do some research and found it on a Google search. When new, it was $400. I listed it for $200 and just waited. It was about 3 months and someone offered me $100. I took it for an apple peeler. So this was $7 and he actually took an offer of $100. Okay, Rebecca, her biggest sale so far, vintage enamel pins, mostly butterflies, about 100 of them for $100. I've been selling here and there for $20 to $30 each. I had a lady ask to buy all the butterflies. I had about 50 of those. So we agreed on $1,050 and I listed them for her. She paid yesterday. I'm a single mom and this couldn't come at a better time. So what a great sale for anybody, and on top of that, a single mom. This is why we do eBay. I wanted to end on that note to get you guys motivated. List your stuff. If you have it, list it. So I hope this video has motivated you to get to listing, because who knows what you've got in that pile that's worth $100 or more, and all the little ones do add up. Thanks so much for watching, and I would love your comments below. I will see you in the next video. Bye.